Live local coverage. This is News 10 at 5:30.
Tonight, the U.S. Department of Education is reminding colleges and universities about their responsibility to help borrowers who are struggling to repay student loans. Good evening. I'm David Andrews.
And I'm Amaya Kuznicki. This comes as the Trump administration begins student loan collections for millions in default. News 10's Mars Anderson spoke with experts and shares more live in studio. Hi, Mars.
Hi, Amaya and David. Yeah, the U.S. Department of Education estimates about 38% of federal student loan borrowers are actually making payments on time. Roughly 35% are in deferment, forbearance, or have only a few payments to make, or have missed only a few payments. That leaves nearly 25% who are either in default or in a late stage of delinquency.
This is the Trump administration using every tool at their disposal to claw back dollars from middle-class families across the country.
Federal student loan debt is a critical challenge for the U.S. Department of Education. So much so, the department is reminding higher education institutions of their legal responsibility to support borrowers in debt.
Think of having a middleman in between you and your bank loan. That's not necessarily helpful.
Ryan Fewens-Bliss, executive director of Michigan College Access Network, says there's almost $60 billion of student loan debt in Michigan, with a total of 80,000 student loan borrowers, says Joshua Cowan, professor of education policy at Michigan State University.
Like $35,000 for each of those borrowers. This is going to increase costs by about $200 per month for borrowers.
Under the Higher Education Act of 1965, institutions are required to keep student loan default rates in check. If rates stay too high, too long, they could lose federal funding.
Sending notice to all of your graduates that these are requirements, that seems very reasonable.
Fewens-Bliss says MCAN has worked with lawmakers to increase financial aid for students to decrease the need for loans. He says the Department of Ed could also help students by removing interest.
They could be smaller or they could be zero interest. That would help people pay off their loans.
The Department of Ed plans to calculate rates of non-payment for each institution and publish the information on the Federal Aid Data Center later this month.
The universities by law have some obligation to be good faith providers of the services that the students are going into debt to receive.
Now, Cowan says it's not yet clear how institutions will respond to this legal reminder. However, Fewens-Bliss says borrowers should know their repayment options and that the Department of Ed should offer more payment plans if it wants to see more payments. Amaya?
Thank you, Mars. The U.S. Department of Education says it has initiated an outreach campaign to remind all borrowers of their repayment obligations and provide resources and support to assist. Later this summer, the department will begin administrative wage garnishment for those in default.
Well, after a day